Good afternoon, guys. So I am mom to 14. I have 12 children still at home, and I am going to give you kind of an overview of what we're doing this whole year. So I kind of have a tentative plan for different things that you might see on this channel this year and how our family is changing a little bit. And so last year we had a really hard year. We had just a lot going on. My son passed away in February, and he was 23 and we were his full-time care workers. So it really kind of anyone who's ever taken care of like a disabled child, so much of your time is put into that child and you don't realize it until they're gone. So you kind of feel like empty, or you feel yourself like, oh, I need to make sure, like, if I have to go to the bathroom, my son probably has to go to the bathroom or something like that. Like, it just becomes like almost innately in you to do what you do on a daily basis. And so this year has been really kind of confusing because after he died in February. We had a little baby girl in April, and her name is Rejoice. She's a sweetie. So she is almost 9 months now. And so it's been difficult just trying to like maneuver. We're finally coming, the first couple months with a new baby is just kind of like, oh my goodness. So we went from his death to funeral stuff to trying to figure out what our life was going to look like. We also had another child who needed to have some medical issues taken care of, and they're still not taken care of, but we're like in the process. We have, what's going on and stuff with her and such. So we've just been trying to like figure out. It's just been from like one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and now finally we got to the end of the year and we went on our winter vacation. We got to see some of my husband's family that we hadn't seen in years and years. And it was really good because we were able just to reconnect with them. And so that was really a blessing. But it's January. And so I'm trying to figure out what this new year is going to look like for our family. So there's lots of things that you can plan to see. I think this year I have already been working on for the past couple months, really getting into decluttering. It's not really just decluttering though. It's more of, I hate to say minimalism because every time somebody says minimalism, I think that they have like nothing in their house except for a toothbrush. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a minimalistic type mental attitude, like mental space, as far as less stuff, more meaningful experiences is number one. And so if I have less stuff, then my mind can focus on the things that are really important. I can have more time to be able to spend in the word. I can have more time to be able to teach and train my children if I have less stuff that I need to manage on a daily basis. So you'll see some of that at my house going on. I just finished my bedroom today, which was really awesome to be able to do that and go through all my stuff and just, you know, lots of times we get stuff given to us and you think you're going to wear it and you really aren't going to wear it, and it's just like, why do I have this in here? Or me, I'm in between sizes a lot of times because you know I'm wearing either maternity clothes or nursing clothes, or so it's kind of like, let me just have in my drawers what I'm using right now, which is a combination of nursing clothes and like easy to nursing clothes, but it has to be easy to nursing because I can't have something that's not, because then it just gets me frustrated not being able to nurse appropriately in the clothing I'm wearing. So anyhow, I have my coffee here. I need my afternoon coffee. Who else needs afternoon coffee? I think I gave it to all my kids too. So, where was I going? So, minimalism. So, I am working on my house, working on getting that to an attainable goal. Working on looking and overseeing our homestead to see what really works for us and what doesn't work for us, and deciding what animals to keep and what animals need to either go in the freezer or find a new home. We just want to go through all those areas. We want to work on our gardens because we know that our gardens are really important to us and important to our family. We also want to set up our gardens so they're less maintenance that we need to actually take on. So whether that's last year we started this a little bit. We put some blueberries out here and then we mulched the blueberries a couple years ago. I started using a lot of commercial grade weed mat. So I just want to like get all those things in place this year. I already made my garden plan, so you'll find out some of that type of stuff. I made garden plans for 2 areas. I still have 2 areas left to do. And so we'll go over those types of things. We plan on doing it's not really a no spend year. I don't want to say like I'm having a no spend year because that's not what I'm about, but I want to do a low spend year. So we're focusing again on experiences. So we told our children that they can have one of 2 things. They have $100 available for their birthday. They can choose if they're looking at something that they want to purchase, then they could talk to me about some things that they wanted that would be like within that range. So this is for children who are 10 and older. Actually, I should have said that rather than like the younger kids. The younger kids will get their present and then they will get their cake and their ice cream and their decorations and that fun stuff. So I think that would be better for them. But kids who are 10 or over, they need to let me know if they want a gift or if they want an experience. So they also could choose an experience that was $100 or less. So if they wanted to say go camping, they could go camping, but they would just have to if their birthday was in the winter, they'd have to let me know. And we'd look date wise and decide when we're going to go camping, put that on the calendar, and they'd have like a coupon for camping, and that would be their gift. So we want to really focus on experiences over actual gifts and items, because items are just, I don't want to say pointless, but it's they're not eternal, where relationships are eternal. I guess that's the right word. So we want to build our relationships with our children. And one way that we can do that is through sharing experiences together. So that's what we plan on doing. So yesterday I did this whole long video, which I thought it was going to turn out great until the whole thing crashed and completely destroyed all my footage, which was like 10 different things. So the dress behind me here is being made for my daughter, one of my daughters, for Colonial Williamsburg. And I am so excited to go there. And I know a lot of times this is another thing that's going on. A little side note. A lot of times I'll say, like, I'm so excited, but then I don't smile and I don't show that. And I'm going to be like point blank honest with you guys. I had some dental issues and it started to get taken care of before COVID. And I had things in place where it was like in a good situation. And then like that thing broke. And so I've always had dental issues since I was a baby. I was actually born without enamel on my teeth, and my teeth were black when they came in. Like as a young child, they came in black. So I've always had some issues with my teeth. And so now I don't have too many teeth up top, and that is embarrassing to me. So I try not to smile too much. But I just did go through the whole process, and our insurance is actually going to cover for me to get a denture on top, and then I'll smile more at you guys. So anyhow, that is why, like, I'll say I'm excited, and then it's like I feel like I look like a really totally hokey pokey without, whatever. So I try not to smile, and I just can't wait to get that done. They said it would probably be like May-ish for me to get that done. So I'm excited to get that done so I can smile at my children, especially more often, because it's I'm more self-conscious about that. So we are, where was I? Colonial Williamsburg. Okay, so dress back here. Sorry. So we have decided 2 years ago, I wanted to go and do this thing with some other large families. And you were meeting with a group of families that some of them I have been like in contact with for quite a few years. There used to be a group that was before Facebook and everything. There was a group, and it was all large Christian women who chose to allow God to have control of their fertility, basically. So a lot of the families on there had large families, and they could like get information off different people, and it really blessed me over the years. Like things like how to, organize laundry, or how many sets of sheets do you keep, or, all those questions that you're like, oh my goodness, I just can't get on top of my laundry. The infamous question of how do you keep socks together? I have still yet to find that question answered, because socks is just like a free for all. It's like, here's a big basket, and you guys can just find two socks that look semi close to each other. So that's our sock situation. So they meet once a year at Colonial Williamsburg. So it's kind of like everyone. So it's going to Colonial Williamsburg, but it's also meeting up with some like-minded families, which is really exciting for me. I've wanted to go for years, but we two things. One, financially weren't able to do that. We probably would have been financially able to in the past couple years, but we didn't feel like we could because of where my son's health was. Most hotels, so it's 15-hour drive from us, so we would have to, in my mind, 15 kids 21 and under, we have to stop halfway and then go down. And that stop halfway, and definitely like if he was with us, then we would have had to stop because he would have needed to get out of his wheelchair. So even though a hotel room says that it's handicap accessible, they're really not handicap accessible. They're accessible for somebody who's maybe elderly, but somebody who's like a paraplegic or quadriplegic, they need equipment like a Hoyer lift, and a Hoyer lift has to scoot under a bed, and most of the beds are not able to do that at a hotel, as well as toileting. They need special type of toileting and those types of things that are just not available in a hotel, or the majority of hotels. So we did not do traveling outside of the state of Maine while we were up here, except for we had a couple medical appointments in Massachusetts when he was a little bit younger. And for those, he actually had back surgery in Massachusetts. And on the way back, it was really difficult to find a hotel because we had to stop halfway from there to here. So anyway, we are going to Colonial Williamsburg, and we were really excited about that. So we are going to be making like reenactment type costumes. I have never actually been to it, but it seems like there's they host kind of like a ball, and the kids can like dress up, or everyone can dress up in like period type clothing, and that would be really fun for the kids. So a lot of the clothing, I've gotten a lot of fabric lately. Like they've had bolts of fabric from $5 to $15, and I've bought like the whole bolt of fabric. So I'm really making these costumes, I guess, really cheap. And so I did a whole tutorial yesterday on how I did this right behind me, and through Clipchamp, it totally deleted. So I was very frustrated. It was kind of like a how-to video on how to make that dress there, and it totally just deleted. So it is very frustrating. I am making more. Today we're actually going to do like a marathon. I decluttered my bedroom this morning. I completely finished that up. And then this afternoon, I'm going to be working on making dresses. My daughter's actually across from me, and she is cutting pieces for the next dress because I have a portion of one of the dresses here all ready for that. And I'm going to finish up that one. She's going to cut that one. We have two sewing machines going. And and then the iron's plugged in and stuff. So we're going to work on that. But I want to do this video first. So it's just one video to see if I'd be able to try to redo that Colonial Williamsburg video. Okay. So let me see. So minimizing, or minimalism, or whatever you want to call. So minimizing our house, our clutter, our stuff, minimizing our homestead to what really works for us, not minimizing our gardens, but making our gardens work more proficiently for us. So trying to like do more succession gardening rather than like to like minimize the amount of space that we need, I guess is how I want to say it. And really focusing on experiences. So there'll be a lot more videos on unschooling. I had a request for some of those on how we actually do unschooling, what it actually looks like, where are some ways that we actually unschool. So I might do some like day in the life type things as far as unschooling goes. Currently, we're working on the Three Rivers Challenge, the Pantry Challenge. And so this month we are allotting ourselves only $50 a month to spend for our family of 14 on groceries. So we are doing that challenge. I also am starting to show you guys how to start an actual food storage. So I made a video the other day about how I started my food storage, and I gave you 5 meals that you could start off with. I'm going to increase on that on more meals and different things that we like to store and how we store those things. I might get into some canning. I'm not quite sure. We do lots of canning in a year. We have such a large family that, I mean, if we're looking at, like I mentioned the other day, if we're doing spaghetti sauce once a week, then we would need 156 quarts of spaghetti sauce. So it's just spaghetti sauce just for once a week. So applesauce, say we want to eat applesauce 2 times a week, then we're looking at over 300 quarts of applesauce. So we do a lot of canning, and so I might get into some of that canning. We'll probably get into some sewing, maybe some other handicrafts that we do. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do there. Definitely, we're going to be doing the grocery hauls and food type things. I wanted to also do a video about road schooling or world schooling and what those things were and how you can do them without actually living on the road, like what the theory is behind those. It's more of a theory of being able to learn from the environment around you and making new environments for your children throughout their lives. So I'm going to go over those things. I'm trying to think. What else can you think that we're going to do this year?
I have no clue.
Oh, we're going to Colonial Williamsburg, and we are going to the Statue of Liberty. We're staying in New York. Actually, we're staying in New Jersey, right outside of New York City. And we're going to be going to the Statue of Liberty on our way down to Williamsburg. And then on the way up, we're going to stay in Mystic, Connecticut, I believe. I haven't booked that yet. So there's all those adventures. We're going to do some adventures around here. So we'll probably do the lighthouse around here, which is the easternmost point of the United States. We'll do that. We may spend a long weekend at Acadia National Park. Trying to think of some other things that we might do. So my husband's he actually gets 2 weeks off, and this vacation is actually going to be 8 days. So he will actually have other days off as well. So we'll probably plan something come the fall time too. There'll also be different things like we go apple picking and all those fun little adventures that we will be going on, and possibly talking about just raising kids, family type stuff. You might hear a little bit about the Lord, just because that's part of our life, like we go to church on Sunday, and it's not just about church, it's about our relationship with the Lord. And so that just tends to spill over sometimes. And I am proud of it. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not going to be, quiet about my faith. it just is part of who I am and part of who my children are. So you might hear a little bit about that or a lot about that. Who knows? Also, being a wife, a mother, that type of stuff. I might talk about, nursing. I might talk about pregnancy with, lots of kids. I am not currently pregnant, so I don't want anyone to ask me that because I just said pregnancy. My daughter is 9 months old, or almost 9 months old. In a couple days, she'll be 9 months old. But I think that there's a lot to learn. I've learned a lot from women who have been through lots of pregnancies is totally different than having one or two different children. I'm debating back and forth about telling some of my children that I have now their birth stories. So let me know below if you like listening to birth stories, because I might be happy to share some of those. So just let me know down below if that's something that you're interested in, and let me know if there's anything else that you guys might be interested, might be an interesting topic to you. So basically, I am a mom. I homestead, I home birth, I homeschool, I do lots of stuff at home. But I love to be out and show the kids the world around me that God created. So it's kind of like all encompassing. So just let me know what you are interested in, and we'll see if it's something that wouldn't be sometimes like things that we do on a day-to-day basis. You think, oh, well, nobody would want to know about that, but they really do. So, just let me know what you would be interested in. And I think that's it. I think that I'm going to go start sewing with my daughter. So I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.